Now, new energy firms could be banned from taking on new customers if they can't prove they can supply them.
That's according to the energy regulator Ofgem this morning. Ben, you'd kind of think this would be normal, wouldn't you? You'd kind of think those are the rules of business. If you can't provide the service, don't say you can.
Yeah, you would think that that would already be in place, but it's not, and it's led to a number of high-profile collapses of energy firms. All of these firms that were introduced to bring more competition to the market didn't exactly do that, so the regulator Ofgem says it's going to get tough on them. Thanks very much. Yeah, Ofgem telling us this morning that, well, these firms that grow too big too quickly, they are a problem, and so it's been encouraging firms to try and shake up the market to improve competition and standards. But as I've said, in the last year or so, many of those new firms that came into the market have collapsed, and that's led to confusion and a lot of frustration for customers. In fact, 14 small household gas and electricity suppliers have collapsed since January of last year. And in regular studies by Citizens Advice, many of those newer firms came bottom of the league table for customer service. So let's speak to Mary Starks, who's Executive Director of Consumers and Markets at Ofgem. Mary Starks, good morning to you. Just give us a sense of what you're announcing this morning. Some pretty ambitious plans to try to make sure that new firms that come to the market are capable of providing for the customers they sign up.
That's right. So earlier in the summer, we introduced new licensing tests for new suppliers. What we're consulting on today is proposals to make sure that once those firms are in the market, they stay fit and viable, particularly as they grow and they become subject to social and environmental obligations. We need to make sure they're capable of meeting those obligations as they grow.
How do you make sure that they can do that, though? Because many of the firms come with pretty ambitious targets. They say they're going to, shake up the market, prevent people being locked in with the big four or the big five, and then they prove to do anything but. How do you keep an eye on them?
Well, just to be clear, some of the firms who've come in with those claims have absolutely succeeded in doing that. So we have seen a real shake-up in the market, and some of the new challenger businesses have grown to achieve really significant scale now. Businesses like OVO, that's just in the process of taking over SSE Retail, for example. But we've also seen alongside that a lot of entrants struggle to keep up with the competition. And what we're trying to do today is make sure that all companies are prepared as they grow into the market, and that if they don't make it, that they're able to exit in an orderly fashion.
What many will worry about, and we talk about this a lot, is that if you're not happy with your energy supplier, move to another one. But if you look at some of the numbers, 14 new firms have collapsed, 9 are predicted to fail this winter. That doesn't reassure anyone, does it, that moving to a new supplier would be a good thing? It just is a recipe for more frustration and more anger and a lot of confusion.
Well, to be clear, Ofgem's safety net ensures that if their supplier does go bust, customers are protected, they stay on supply and their credit balances are honoured by the new supplier. But the risk of a new company going bust is still relatively low. Customers should feel absolutely confident to shop around and look for better deals on the market.
Are you really confident that these new entrants have shaken up the market in the way that you wanted to? Because if we look at some of these suppliers, they are very small players. I'm looking at some here, some that collapsed with 10,000 customers, 21,000 customers, 38,000 customers. It's not the sort of scale that you need to get people to move away from the likes of British Gas, is it?
No, but the ones that have succeeded are now getting that scale. So some of the new challengers have got over 1 million customers now, and that's absolutely the scale to nip at the heels of British Gas.
What else would you like to see change in the market? Because there is a lot of volatility. We know that these smaller firms are subject to wholesale prices, for example. We know this winter could be pretty tough as people turn on the heating. How do you make sure that there's competition but that customers are protected?
Ofgem's role is to look after the interests of current and future consumers. So it's about, for us, striking a balance between keeping the market open to innovative new players, particularly as we move towards a cleaner, greener, smarter energy supply, but at the same time protecting customers. So these measures are about making sure that we can step in quickly when we start to see things going wrong.
OK, we'll keep an eye on it. Mary, thanks very much. Mary Starks, Executive Director at Ofgem. More from me after 8 o'clock. I'll see you later on.
Thanks very much.